Public Library.
And I'm Alissa. I'm the Resource Services Manager at the Ames Public Library.
We're here to give you some recommendations for our second annual 12 to Try challenge. For the month of July, the challenge is to choose a book purely based on its cover. Stay tuned for our suggestions or come to the library and check out our display promoting the challenge. Alissa, what book did you pick?
I had trouble narrowing down which book to pick because I love books based on the cover. I love the genre, books, the different sci-fi, romance, just all the different, how you can tell if it's a romance based on the cover. And so I have a hodgepodge here. The first one I picked was Early Riser by Jasper Fforde. I do like all this stuff. What caught my eye about this one based on the cover is you can kind of see a wintry scene and then you open it up. It's got a little punch out. Yeah, but it's, I know, I'm easily amused. It's sci-fi. It's it's kind of dystopian. Everyone hibernates for the winter, which is kind of nice, if you could do that. But not everyone. There's certain people that are left to guard. And what happens is people start dying in their dreams. And the people that are still awake have to figure them out and see what's going on. Spoiler alert, I won't tell you what happens. I guess that's not a spoiler then. But that's the opposite of a spoiler. But it's a really good book. If you like Jasper Ford's other work, the Jane Eyre series that he has, the Eyre Affair, that series, it's very much his humor. It's fantastic. It's also what I'd like to do during winter, which would just be hibernate, not die from, bad dreams. What's your first book?
Okay, so I was walking through the youth services department and this one snagged my attention. Tar Beach, it's written and illustrated by Faith Ringgold. It really caught my attention because the cover art is a quilt. And I thought that was really interesting and really unique. And so I did some more reading about Faith Ringgold, the artist. She's a Black artist and activist, and she's particularly famous for her story quilts. Quilts that are painted, quilted, and that tell a story. This particular one was adapted into a children's book, which then became a Caldecott Honor book. So I'm not the only one who likes the cover. This particular story tells of Cassie Louise Lightfoot, who is 8 years old, living in Harlem in 1939. It's actually based on the author's own experiences. It's a really hopeful and effervescent story. The art is bright and colorful and unique and full of joy and movement. It's a really extraordinary book from a great American artist. And if you do end up wanting more information about Faith Ringgold, turns out we also have several books about her in the grown-up art section. So you can learn all about her work for grown-ups.
I remember cataloging that book. I looked through it before I sent it out there to everyone else.
Yeah, it's very interesting. She's a very interesting person, and so yes, I really recommend Tar Beach by Faith Ringgold. What do you have next?
I have a Grady Hendrix book. It's called How to Sell a Haunted House. I had picked this one off. I think it was on the display during October here, possibly. If you're familiar with Grady Hendrix, he kind of does Southern Gothic horror. You're more of a horror expert than I am, but I was intrigued by the cover. It's very Gothic looking in kind of a traditional and...
Very goth, very horror.
Yeah, and it does not disappoint. It starts out kind of slow. The main character comes back because her parents have passed away, and she has to go back and sell their house and go through the possessions. And in true Grady Hendrix style, it just goes off the rails from there. And I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, if you like humor, if you like horror, if you like a little bit of family drama, it's got it all in there. I highly recommend this one.
Well, then, you're going to love my next recommendation. If you like How to Sell a Haunted House, Locke Key by Joe Hill, illustrated by Gabriel Rodriguez. This one it caught my attention from the moment it came out about 10 years ago, and I just devoured it. The whole series, actually. It really, the art and the story, like, really sucked me in. Joe Hill is a brilliant horror writer. I really also enjoy his prose stuff. And Rodriguez's art just really expertly evokes the story, the atmosphere, the tone. Locke Key tells the story of the Locke children who move across the country to live in their family's ancestral home, the Key House, after the murder of their father. The house is full of strange doors and magical keys. But don't let the somewhat whimsical premise fool you. This is not a winsome childhood adventure story. Creeping dread absolutely saturates every page. And to make matters worse, there's a demonic being living in an old well, and their father's murderer has escaped from prison, and it's just like, it's grim, folks. It's really good, but it's grim. This first volume does an excellent job of like introducing and developing the characters and showing us like how the magic of the house works, as well as this voracious evil that's looming over the whole story. Gritty, atmospheric, absolutely spine-chilling, fantastic horror graphic novel.
I need to read that one because I watched, was it the Netflix?
Yes, there is a Netflix show now. And if you thought the opening to the Netflix show was grim, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I need to read that. I'll steal that from you when we're done here. I've got one more based on, I picked this one up. It's called Signature Cocktails. It's a cookbook, and I absolutely loved the minimalist approach on the cover. It's really subtle. If you look, it's just a very classic, sleek design. And what I liked about it was the more you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that's a swizzle stick. And then you can see the subtle outline of the square ice cube. It's also got some really solid recipes in there. And they give you history about them. They tell you where it originates, where it comes from, who the bartender was that invented it, the type of glass that you should serve it in. It's, yeah.
Fascinating.
I know. I like to nerd out with all the science and the history behind it. So it combines like three of my favorite things: history, science, and mixology, drinking, I guess. And design, because that's what this is about.
And then you can kick back with a cocktail while you read one of our recommended books.
Yes.
All right, folks, those are our recommendations for the month of July. Feel free to stop in, pick one out for yourself, check out our display, or tell us about the books that we should have recommended instead. Have a good day.
Bye.